Despite signing a pledge to support whoever the Republican nominee is, Nikki Haley declines to affirm she would support Trump if he wins the nomination. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the 2024 Republican presidential primary. Now, as most of you know, Nikki Haley has become more and more never Trump by the passing day. I mean, let's face it. She was never that good in the first place, but the past 2 to 3 months, she has gone full throttle, never Trump Republican. It's gotten so bad that Nikki Haley has been asked repeatedly, if Donald Trump were to be the nominee, would you support him? Despite signing a pledge to do the exact same thing, and on the debate stage, raised her hand saying she would support him. She's now saying, well, I don't know. In fact, she refuses to answer a basic yes or no question. Folks, who does this sound like to you? This sounds like John Kasich. It's gotten so bad that she refused to answer something so easy that anyone, hell, even Chris Christie was able to answer it. He just said no, but at least he answered it. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Now let's get right into it. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley declined Sunday to affirm that she would support former President Donald Trump if he were to become the GOP nominee for president again. Speaking to host Jonathan Carlin ABC's This Week, the former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador said multiple times that her sole concern is defeating Trump in the Republican primary. I'm running against him because I don't think he should be president, she said. The last thing on my mind is who I'm going to support. The only thing on my mind is how we're going to win this. Does this sound like someone that cares about just beating Biden? No! She even said, my sole focus is stopping Orange Man. I mean, listen, you could say, look, the primary is still going on, but if I somehow lost the nomination, I would support Trump against Biden. That's all you have to say. But her Trump derangement syndrome is so bad, she can't even say the basic thing of Trump is better than Biden. Of course I would support him. She's saying, we gotta stop Orange Man. I mean, do you really think a bunch of Trump voters are gonna look at this and say to themselves, yeah, I'm gonna support her this year? No, they're gonna say, wait a minute, you're not gonna support Trump if he's the nominee when you just signed a pledge? That does not make you seem trustworthy. When Carl tried to pin down Haley, she declined to say one way or the other. I'm going to run and I'm going to win, and y'all can talk about support later. Right now, you can ask him if he's going to support me when I'm the nominee, she said. It's one thing to say, I'm more than likely going to be the nominee, but of course, if I somehow lost, I would support Trump. That's just the basic thing. Any Republican that has a brain would say that, especially when Trump is up by 70. This isn't like it's a 50-50 race where Nikki Haley has leverage. No, Trump is up by so much, even in South Carolina, that it's like, what are you trying to accomplish here? In the past, Haley has said she would support Trump if he wins the GOP nomination. I would support him because I'm not going to have President Kamala Harris. We can't afford that. That is not going to happen. She said on CNBC in July of 2023. And this is the biggest problem. Just a few months ago, she was saying, of course I would support Trump over Biden or whoever the Democrats run. But now it's like, well, I don't know. This is a basic question, yes or no. And I think she realized, no matter how she answered, she's screwed. She either pissed off her never Trump voters that are just Democrats, or She pisses off the Trump voters that make up what? 80% of the GOP? At the first GOP debate in August, Haley was one of the contenders who raised their hands to say she would back Trump, who was not at the debate, if he emerged from the primary process as the nominee. Even as she has ratcheted up her criticism of Trump during the campaign season, she has not directly reversed her position on that matter. During the interview with Carl, Haley was sharply critical of President Biden for the state of the world today, but also aimed her fire at Trump, particularly for his recent remarks that were seen as undermining the NATO alliance, as well as his attempts to stock the leadership of the Republican National Committee with close allies, including Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law. But again, you can criticize Trump. This is not what people are mad about, right? You could say, well, some of these criticisms are just wrong. The problem is she won't affirm what she said just last year, what she did at the debate. Now she's saying, well, I'm going to be the nominee. I'm not going to say who I will support till later. Well, wait a minute. Didn't you just say you would support Trump, but now you're saying you can't answer that? It should be a wake-up call for the Republicans all over the country, Haley told Carl. I mean, you look at the fact that we saw it in his campaign reports that he used $50 million of his campaign contributions to pay for his personal court cases. Then he tried to get the RNC to name him the presumptive nominee. We don't anoint kings in America. We don't. But when Trump is getting 70, 80% of the vote in polling, even in your own state, he's at like what, 65%? At some point, the RNC looked at this and they were like, you know what? It's over. There's no pathway for any real contender against Trump. Nikki Haley got embarrassed in Nevada. That's what sealed it, mind you. New Hampshire, kind of, where Trump won by 10. But when she lost to no one, that's when a lot of people started to realize, what are we freaking doing? Trump got 99% of the caucus vote while she got 30% against no one. The next Republican primary is to be held in South Carolina, Haley's home state, on February 24th. Sunday's interview was something of a greatest hits collection for Haley, featuring many of her current leading lines of attack against the former president, particularly when it comes to what Trump has said or not about Russian President Vladimir Putin, whose leading foe Navalny unexpectedly died last week, a death that much of the world is assuming was ordered by Putin. Listen, I understand that his death was very, suspicious. I'm not even denying that. No one is. But what we attack Russia for doing, going after political opponents, all of that, we're doing the same thing here. And Nikki Haley isn't saying a damn word about that. In fact, she's saying, well, that's just proof that Trump is unelectable, that he has to go through so many court problems. No, it demonstrates that we are becoming a country that we have always said was undemocratic and unfair, and it's an oligarchy. We need to remind the American people that Vladimir Putin is not our friend, she said. Vladimir Putin is not cool. This is not someone we want to associate with. This is not someone we want to be friends with. This is not someone that we can trust. And so when you can hear Donald Trump say in South Carolina a week ago that he wouldn't encourage Putin to invade our allies if they weren't pulling their weight, that's bone-chilling. Because all he did in that one moment was empower Putin. So now we're back to the Russia crap. I thought we were done with this. I mean, we're in the year of 2024, and now Nikki Haley has adopted 2016 Democrat talking points? I mean, really? Yes, what happened to Navalny was bad and very suspicious. I mean, no one's denying that. But it's like, why are we making such a big deal about it when in the United States of America, we've started to do the same things we attack Russia for doing? I mean, we go after political opponents now, bankrupting them. I mean, $450 million Trump has to pay. And now we have, the January 6 people. They're still in jail. Many of them did nothing. So it's like, yeah, no one's going to say much when we have a lot of the same problems that we attack Russia for. And plus, Trump doesn't praise Putin. He doesn't. He says he's smart. But that doesn't mean he's a good guy. That's not what Trump is saying at all. I mean, a lot of world leaders, they're smart, except Biden, but it's like you have to be smart to be a leader of, say, Russia, of China. She also noted that Trump has been silent on the manner of Navalny's death, because guess what? That's kind of expected in Russia. I mean, am I wrong? Is anyone really surprised about, oh, they killed a political opponent, allegedly? Honestly, it's just kind of expected. It's Russia. You make it such a big deal about something that basically happens every other week there. That's why it's just whatever. It sucks. I feel bad for the family, but Russia's been doing this for years. But you're not saying a damn thing about what's happening to Trump, what's happening to some of his supporters. Either he sides with Putin and thinks it's cool that Putin killed one of his political opponents, or he just doesn't think it's that big of a deal. Either one of those is concerning. Either one of those is a problem, she said. Does this sound like someone that's going to back Trump? I mean, your main focus is how Trump thinks Putin is cool for killing his opponents? What? This is exactly what Democrats have been saying for years, and now you've adopted the exact same talking points right after saying, oh, I'm not going to say who I will support this cycle. Does this sound like someone that's going to back Trump? No. And the fact that she's alleging that Trump thinks, oh, Putin's cool for killing his opponents, and that, oh, it's not a big deal. It really isn't a big deal. We have so many problems here. I mean, a lot of the stuff we attack Russia for doing, we're doing right now. Why do you think people are not talking about it much except the mainstream media? I don't get why Nikki Haley expects Trump to make a huge ordeal about some foreign political opponent for being killed when Trump is currently being prosecuted. I don't get it. But Nikki Haley has lost, I think, all sense of reality. And I don't think she even understands what she's saying. I mean, using Democrat talking points that Trump is pro-Putin and he wants Russia to succeed and all of that. Either way, it's still just pathetic that Nikki Haley, which we've always known was a bad Republican, a quote-unquote Republican, has gotten even worse than I thought was even possible. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.